Hey everybody, I'm Justin with AmericanMuscle.com, and this is my detailed review of Injen's Wrinkle Black Power Flow Cold Air Intake System, available for your 2011 through 2013 3.5 liter EcoBoost F-150. All right guys, in this video, I'm gonna cover this thing from top to bottom. We're gonna talk about some of the benefits you can expect when using this intake over your factory airbox, what you're gonna be looking at as far as components and construction, and then finally what it takes to get the engine installed onto your EcoBoost F-150. And with all aftermarket cold airs for the EcoBoost trucks, you're not looking at brain surgery here, guys. Very simple stuff, 1 out of 3 wrenches with some basic hand tools, and we'll have a little bit more detail coming up later on. The engine should appeal to EcoBoost owners out there who are looking for an affordable yet well-built intake that's going to feature the attractive and durable wrinkle black coating as opposed to a flashy polished finish or maybe even a gloss black finish. Now this thing does feature that open element filter, so expect a lot more noise coming from under the hood in regards to engine noise and turbo noise, and it does feature a dry filter as opposed to an oiled option. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of Injen before, but if not, here's what you need to know. They've been around for over a decade, producing a wide variety of induction systems for both cars and trucks alike, all of which are built and designed in the USA. Now the Power Flow is one of Injen's most popular offerings. It's something they introduced back in 2005 and has become one of the most popular offerings for both cars and trucks alike ever since. Now it actually features something called their MR or Mega Ram technology, and that refers to this little neck down here. It's tough to see with the wrinkle black finish, but with some of their other systems it's definitely a little bit more apparent, and it's their way of getting more power out of the intakes but without requiring a custom tune. The reality is none of the aftermarket EcoBoost cold airs here for the F-150 require a custom tune, and that is due to the fact that the trucks run off of speed density and not a mass airflow sensor. With the more traditional mass airflow sensor trucks or applications, anytime you change the diameter of the housing, you need to account for that in the tune, otherwise the car or truck will not run very well. Again, with the speed density system, you can change the intake out for an aftermarket one. The ECU will make the changes on the fly, so therefore you don't need to account for it with a tune or an aftermarket sensor. So what's that mean for you guys? Well, as we just said, no tune required, but you can still expect a little bit more power out of your setup. Injen claims roughly 10 horsepower, 11 pound-feet of torque, and that's going to be the best case scenario because an intake by itself isn't going to set the world on fire in terms of gains. You're looking at high single digits, low double digits at best. Now you can still expect a few other benefits though along with the power gains. You're going to be looking at improved throttle response, maybe a hair better fuel economy, and again, a little bit more noise from under the hood. With some of the basic benefits out of the way, let's break down some of the components here with the Power Flow system. First and foremost, guys, let's talk intake tube. You're looking at 6061 aluminum, all mandrel-bent, and then of course finished off in the wrinkle black coating. I really like this coating because it is attractive, but it's also going to be very durable. It's not going to get scuffed or scratched under the hood, and it's not going to show fingerprints like their polished version might. Moving away from the tube, you're going to find the Super Nano Performance Filter here from Injen. It is unique to the brand and features what they call 4 layers of surgical grade cotton. It is washable, it is reusable, and of course that's a great thing for you guys because it means you can wash this thing, reinstall it whenever it gets a little dirty. Going even further here with the Injen filter, you will find a little built-in velocity stack up top, should help airflow into the system. I do want to remind you guys, this is a dry filter, obviously a little different from the oiled filters. Some of you guys might prefer a dry filter, some of you guys might prefer an oiled filter. If you do like an oiled filter, there are plenty of options here on the site that you can check out, but at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind both dry and oiled filter are for the most part going to be reusable. They're both going to be far superior compared to the single-use cheap paper element factory filter. Sticking with the filter here, one more thing to point out, guys, this is an open element filter. I've said that a few times throughout the review, but this is a little different from your sealed air box, whether it be factory or aftermarket. You're gonna be hearing more noise with an open element filter like this. More engine noise, a little bit more turbo noise, and maybe even that bypass or blow off valve. Now some people might like this, other people might not. If you wanted to keep things quiet, check out Injen's Evolution intake. It's actually very cool. It's only a few bucks more than this guy, and it does feature a sealed air box, which should help keep things a little bit more quiet. Jumping back to this intake though, again guys, you will find the included heat shield made from aluminum, also finished off in the wrinkle black coating, much like the intake tube itself here. And you're also going to find the included couplers and hardware to get everything installed. As far as price, guys, this thing is very reasonable. Only the K&N stuff is slightly more affordable, but other than that, you're going to be dropping right around 300 bucks here for the Injen system. Again, compared to some of the other factory intakes on the site, not that bad. Install is a complete no-brainer here, even if you're a little new to the world of wrenching. Expect a 1 out of 3 wrench job on the difficulty meter, maybe an hour in the garage or driveway before you get this guy installed. You're really not even gonna need to dive too deep into the toolbox for this one. A few basic screwdrivers, maybe a socket set is really all you need to remove the factory intake components and then get the new engine in place. Wrapping this one up, guys, the engine here isn't gonna be the flashiest or the most expensive intake on the site, but it does do the job and it's gonna look good while doing so. So if you're trying to stick to a budget, but you want a little bit more performance, maybe a little bit more sound out of your 3.5 liter EcoBoost, be sure to check out the wrinkle black version of the PowerFlow intake from Injen right here at AmericanMuscle.com.